Hey, how's it going, guys? So this is going to be my top 5 running back values for DFS on DraftKings for Week 6. I'm going to be going over my top 5 standalone values, guys that you can plug into your double stacks, whether you're going to be building around the Kansas City Chiefs and Buffalo Bills game, or creating that Geno Smith Seahawks stack, and guys you can plug in easily. So let's go ahead and take a look at my top 5 here. So the first guy on my list is going to be Travis Etienne Jr. This past week in Week 5, he was able to have a fantasy performance closer to what we are expecting him to have on a week in and week out basis. 14.4 fantasy points in Week 5, 10 carries for 71 yards, 3 receptions on 5 targets as well. Didn't get into the end zone against Houston. Just kind of a strange game. The guys didn't get in the flow of the game, at least on the offensive side of the ball. It's going to be a lot tougher matchup with that Indianapolis defense, but I don't think this is a fluke. I don't believe that. I don't believe that Doug Peterson is just going to ignore the type of change of pace back that Travis Etienne Jr. is, the versatility that he has that can create problems for a defense. So look for Travis Etienne to have another fantasy day similar to this 14.4 performance he had last week. My number 4 running back for this week, for Week 6, is going to be Daryl Henderson Jr. for the Los Angeles Rams. They're playing at home against Carolina. They're favored. I know Cam Akers has been getting the majority of the between the tackles carries, but Daryl Henderson, he's been getting the majority of the passing touches in that offense. So with Carolina, they're pretty good. They're a pretty good defense. They're able to get to the quarterback. And Matt Stafford has had some issues with taking sacks, so look for him to make the adjustment to take the underthrows here to the running backs or even the slot receivers in the short yardage areas there. I feel like Daryl Henderson is going to have to be a better security outlet for Matthew Stafford, just for the pure success of that offense for the Los Angeles Rams, to minimize the turnovers, to minimize the sacks, get the ball out of the hands of Matthew Stafford quicker, and to have a different option from Cooper Kupp. So I think they're going to start with that this week against the Carolina Panthers. Look for the Panthers to bring the house on multiple downs with the new interim head coach and Steve Wilks. So I like Daryl Henderson here at the $5,100 price point. Number 3 running back here, probably my favorite pick in this video is going to be J.K. Dobbins at $5,500 with a matchup against the New York Giants. Rashad Bateman is looking like he's not going to play. So with that being said, it's going to be Devin Duvernay and Mark Andrews again this week. J.K. Dobbins didn't have such a great week this past week against Cincinnati with only 4.4 fantasy points, 8 carries for 44 yards. Still had a pretty good average yards per carry, though, in that matchup. We would like to see more of this 22.3 fantasy day with 13 carries and a touchdown, along with the passing game work here. So, I like J.K. Dobbins at this $5,500 price point. Against the New York Giants defense. They're going to be playing away, but again, I think the talent's going to prove itself in this matchup. I think Lamar's going to have to get things back on track with the win over the Giants. So, again, J.K. Dobbins is probably my favorite pick on this video at $5,500. My number 4 pick here for my running backs is going to be Devin Singletary at $5,900 with the biggest matchup on the week between the Bills and the Chiefs. Highest point total game on the slate. A lot of people are going to be trying to build stacks around this game here. So for me, to pivot off of that in order to get a lot of leverage on the field, knowing that a lot of people are going to be keying in on this game, I like Devin Singletary, especially at $5,900. didn't have the great performance last week. He did receive 2 targets in the passing game, which is good to see. It's not exactly what as much as we'd like to see, but it is it is viable as far as that price point, $5,900. Week 3 and 4, you saw his best performances: 24 fantasy points and 12.6 in week 4. Again, not only do I think he has the capability of putting up a good fantasy day, 20-point type fantasy day, and should he do that, you'll have that much more leverage over the field that's going to be heavy concentrated on that Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes double stack or single stacks or whatever. So Devin Singletary, look for him to be a really good leverage play this week. My last pick here is going to be Ramondre Stevenson for the New England Patriots with a matchup against the Cleveland Browns, who's been giving them massive yards to running backs throughout this season so far. The guy's been putting up double-digit fantasy days every week, regardless of Damian Harris being there. Now that Damian Harris is going to be out for a lengthy period of time with a leg injury, these attempts are going to stick around this 20 mark, I believe. They can mix in, I think Pierce is one of the running backs there, or Pierce Strong. But Ramondre Stevenson is a good enough athlete, good enough running back in order to make his carries count. The guy's basically averaging 5 yards a carry so far this season. So look for him to have a really big game against this Cleveland Browns defense. At $6,000, easy plug and play. He's going to be kind of chalky as far as the ownership goes, but I think it's going to be an instance where it'll be good to have that bit of chalk in your lineups this week, especially with a very high percentage of ownership going to basically 2 games. Alright guys, that was my top 5 running backs video for week 6 of the NFL season for the Sunday Main Slate for DFS on DraftKings. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment on who's your top running back play for DFS for the main slate this week on DraftKings. Thank you so much for watching.